Hey folks, Joshua Flournoy here with Midwest Legacy Land and Farm Sales. Some of you may be aware of the lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors that was settled recently, with no admission of wrongdoing from NAR, I might add. The settlement has inspired many clickbait headlines online over the last few months, ones such as 6% realtor commissions are a thing of the past, and real estate commissions are negotiable for the first time, and how real estate is changing forever. Now, I could make this a very long video, but I'm going to try and make a condensed version of what this lawsuit was about, what changes it has affected in future real estate transactions, what that means for buyers and sellers for sure, and then I might throw in a little speculation also on the things that are not yet really a given or known for sure. So the basic crux of the lawsuit against NAR was an allegation that realtors acting as buyer's agents were allegedly using the MLS to self-deal for themselves by steering their buyers toward listings that promise higher gross commission percentage or a higher percentage of commission to be shared by the listing agent with the buyer's agent upon the sale closing, with the obvious implication being that the buyer's agents were acting in their own best interests instead of in the best interests of the buyers they were representing. Now, was this alleged steering actually happening? I have no personal knowledge that it was, but it also wouldn't surprise me. I've never done anything like that as a realtor, and I don't have firsthand knowledge of other agents that have done that, but realtors are just like any other profession. There's some good eggs and there's some bad eggs. There are agents like myself who try very hard to represent their clients, and other agents who try very hard to represent themselves. It's in your best interest to get an agent who's going to try and represent your interests, whether you're a buyer or a seller. So are the terms of the lawsuit settlement going to fix this steering allegation? Well, that remains to be seen. It may help in some ways, but in other ways, I think it's likely to open a whole new can of worms. So what exactly were the terms of the settlement? Well, two things are known for sure. First thing is, as of July 1st in Iowa and August 17th in Missouri, all buyers are now required to sign a buyer agreement before being entitled to an in-person showing for a house or property that's listed for sale or shown by a realtor from a brokerage that's an NAR member, and the vast majority of realtors are NAR members. It doesn't matter which brokerage or agent you're working with, or whether you're working through a buyer's agent or directly through the listing agent. If you're working with an agent that's a member of NAR, then you will be required to sign a buyer agreement before a showing. Now, this buyer agreement can be tailored to be very specific to a particular property, or it can be more general in nature, depending on your agreement as a buyer with your preferred buyer's agent. Now, if you're going directly as a buyer through the listing agent, in that situation, the agreement would be specific to that property for sale. The second thing we know for sure is that the gross sale commission percentage and the percentage of commission share with a cooperating buyer's agent will no longer be shown on each property that's listed for sale on the MLS system. Now, this is to try and eliminate the previously mentioned alleged steering of buyers to homes or properties with a higher realtor commission and commission share with buyer's agent. Now, will this actually eliminate steering by buyer's agents who are determined to do so? I'm skeptical that it will. They can still make contact with the listing agent directly outside of the MLS system and inquire as to what the commission share percentage is. Will it make extra hoops they have to jump through in order to unethically steer their buyers towards properties with a higher commission for themselves? Yes, it will, undoubtedly. But will it eliminate the issue? That remains to be seen. So let's quickly address some of those clickbait headlines I mentioned earlier. Are 6% realtor commissions a thing of the past? Well, for starters, 6% is not some hard and fast rule. It's not a number determined by NAR, and no, it's not a thing of the past because of the NAR settlement. Neither listing agents nor buyer's agents work for free, nor should they, and both types of agents are an important part of the equation, especially in rural land sales. If a realtor comes to you soon and says they can now list your property for sale and save you money on commission because they don't have to advertise a buyer's agent commission share on the MLS anymore, well, then you might want to think hard about running the other way fast, because any savvy listing agent who's a professional and is looking out for the interest of his sellers will understand that a larger pool of buyers means higher demand and higher prices for the property for sale. Now, there may be some highly specific situations where this is not the case, but in most situations, particularly in rural land sales, listing agents and buyer's agents are both an important part of the process. Now, I don't personally do much in the residential side of things, except when there's a home on a piece of land I have listed for sale, but I regularly list and sell properties in a price range from $500,000 on up to a couple $1,000,000. And buyers for those kind of properties aren't just standing around on every street corner. No listing agent, no matter how good he is, no matter how long he's been in business, is ever always going to have the best buyer in his back pocket for every property he lists for sale. And that's where buyer's agents come into play, because they greatly enlarge the pool of potential buyers for your property. And that increases competition and demand. What happens when there's competition and higher demand for something? Prices go up. That's basic economics, and that's good for land sellers. Trying to cut buyer's agents out of that equation in order to save some money on commission may actually end up meaning that the seller walks away with less money in their pocket on closing day if they end up settling for a lower sale price because of less buyers competing with each other to buy that property. The second question is, are real estate commissions now negotiable for the first time? And the answer to that is that realtor commissions have always been negotiable, and the percentage that's shared by the listing agent with the buyer's agent has always been negotiable as well. Now, the third question is real estate changing forever? No. The answer to this is no. There will be an adjustment as everyone from real estate professionals to buyers and sellers learns how to implement and work within the new settlement requirements. But no, real estate is not changing forever. So, to summarize, my basic cynical takeaway from this settlement is that things basically aren't going to change that much, but the process will now be more annoying and laborious for listing agents, buyer's agents, and buyers. Administrative paperwork isn't my favorite part of being a land agent, but now I'll have more of it whether I'm acting as a listing agent or a buyer's agent. And know this, buyers should just expect from now moving forward that they'll have to sign a buyer agreement before going to look at a property listed for sale on the public market, and that's nationwide, not just in Iowa and Missouri. And remember, that's with any agent who's a member of NAR, and most agents are a member of NAR. So that's all I've got for you today. If anything new comes down the pike or updates are needed on this topic, I'll try to work it into a future informational video for you. Try to keep y'all informed. So y'all have a great week.